So they got the Moody, they're giving that to their Muck, but I think that's totally a-okay with me. Okay, that would have brought me to... Oh my goodness, that's perfect. What's up, y'all? Talon here. Today I'm back with another series of ranked Battle Stadium battles featuring top teams in the Regulation G metagame. Today I'm using a team that was able to get 9th place at the Indianapolis Regional Championship. It was actually Artan Abdi's first day 2, getting all the way to 9th place at an 11-3 record. Just missing cut on resistance, definitely a tough break there, but overall a really impressive team and a really impressive finish, so congrats to him. I have his Twitter linked in the description. If the team strikes your interest, you want to try it for yourself, I have the rental code in the top right of the video, as well as a Pokepaste with the EV spreads in the description below if you want to try it out on Pokemon Showdown. If you enjoy these videos as a resource, please subscribe to the channel, and with all that being said, let's break down the team now. So just looking at it, it is very obviously a Trick Room team. You have the Trick Room setters of Calyrex-Ice and Farigiraf, two of the most common in the metagame. Calyrex is really bulky and is a bit more offensive of an option, but Farigiraf can be good when you really just want to lead Smeargle, Farigiraf, guarantee Trick Room with Follow Me. Trick Room, there's no priority that can disrupt that outside of like a Tinkaton Mold Breaker, which would break through your Armor Tail, but I digress. Yeah, Farigiraf, Smeargle is your guaranteed Trick Room lead. Smeargle Calyrex is your more offensive one, and generally more ideal, but really the idea of this team is use the Smeargle to disrupt your opponent from stopping Trick Room, whether that be with Spore, Follow Me, so they have to attack into you, and then you get a free switch into your Trick Room sweepers of Arachnoid, Ursaluna, and Min Speed Urshifu Choice Band, and then go from there. If your opponent leads poorly into Smeargle, the Spore can be really difficult for them to handle. Self-Decorate is also a really oppressive option if you get it on the Calyrex or the Ursaluna, just threatening insane spread damage that at that point just ignores the type chart essentially. So it's a really cool Pokemon, glad to see people are innovating with it. Aside from that, the Arachnid with the Wide Guard is really good against things like Calyrex Shadow that would otherwise be able to ignore the Smeargle and go for a Astral Barrage into Calyrex or anything of that nature. Urshifu with the Choice Banded Unseen Fist in Trick Room is really effective because you don't have to worry about protects. You can just break through those and really make the most of your Trick Room turns. And then Ursaluna Blood Moon with the Terra, Normal, Blood Moon, and Hyper Voice, boosted by Helping Hand from Farigiraf, can just deal insane damage. So there's a lot of intricacies to this team that I'm sure we'll find out from playing, but there's only a way to find those out, and that is by playing. So if you enjoy the videos, please subscribe to the channel. And with all that being said, let's jump into the battles. All right, really defensive Groudon team from my opponent. Amogus is kind of annoying, but not the end of the world. What kind of Farigiraf are we working with? I feel like Hyper Voice plus Smeargle is honestly pretty good against these sort of teams because of safety goggles. So I'm going to set up Trick Room with that. I guess knockoff Incin could be a concern. Ursaluna, it's dependent on their speed stat, truthfully, but I think if we can leverage the Farigiraf aggressively, we'll be in a good spot, but we have to figure out a way to get pressure off of the Farigiraf, and I think that's just going to be the Ursaluna. If they have to Spore one of our normal types and the other one is just doing a knockout in return, I think that's okay. So when you see these type of defensive teams that you can't just barrel through necessarily because of screens, bulk up Groudon, maybe you got to get a little creative. I think Decorate the Calyrex would be a viable option as well, but I'd like it better if I was high horsepower. Okay, that's fine by me. They're intimidating first. I just like Decorate, yeah. Decorate Hyper Voice is going to do a lot of damage. And they can't Fake Out. They could Spirit Break me. I should probably Spore the... What is that? That's the Grimmsnarl not staying in, the Incin switching out into Amoonguss. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I guess they were not safety goggles, otherwise that's a very safe Parting Shot or knockoff this turn. So I'm very happy about how this turn is going to play out. Because I am going to be able to do... Right now I'm doing double my damage, next time I'll be able to three times my damage. Yeah, this is going to be a knockout into the Amoonguss and the Grimmsnarl. So lesson be learned. You can't just play passive against this. They could be Ghost Terra on the Farigiraf or on the Amoonguss, or the... It really have to be the Grimmsnarl to do any damage because I am safety goggles on this Farigiraf, but I think people underestimate that Farigiraf does have like a 110, maybe 120 special attacking stat. It's not flimsy at all. It's not hitting remotely weakly. So this lead can catch people off guard when they're just going to try and slow play your Calyrex somehow. And they get the Farigiraf dealing like 70% on Hyper Voices. Yeah, and this is through screens, mind you. We're 2 at KOing an Incineroar through screens with a Hyper Voice. Insane. So at this point, the Farigiraf is +4. We have Follow Me Smeargle on the board. We have Spore on the board. Can't fake us out. It's looking tough. Groudon is out. At this point, I think I'm going to hit the Spore button. And Trick Room. Oh, they cancel out. Yeah, I think they maybe could have won. Given I had to go into Trick Room still. Maybe if they crit the Precipice Blades and then just somehow are able to get a knockout. But yeah, going for the Spore probably puts it in my favor. But maybe if there's something cute like a Safety Goggles or a Terra Grass Groudon they get there. But yeah, that's just showing the value of the Smeargle. It really can make a Pokemon that feels passive on the board just become suddenly really threatening, like the Farigiraf. Opponent has an interesting squad. They have Koraidon, Armarouge, Indeedee, Flutter, Ursaluna, and the Farigiraf. This, to me, spells Trick Room bluff, honestly, with Imprisoned Trick Room somewhere. So I'm going to kind of count on that. I like Smeargle. Sun makes Araquanid kind of dicey. I could see Calyrex as a lead, just defensively is pretty strong. Yeah, the lack of high horsepower is a little concerning, but I think it's fine. I'm probably not going to go for Trick Room turn 1. Not going to fall for that twice. And my Ursaluna's min speed. I could honestly see Urshifu being good with Sucker Punch if not for the Indeedee. That gives me some pause. I think I'll go Ursa just for back Trick Room, and then I feel like they're going to, if I can just stop their first wave of offense, I don't even have to go for Trick Room. If I can get my Ursaluna in with the Farigiraf, I can set it up that way. Yeah. I think if we go into the Trick Room battle, we will win. And if they stop Trick Room, then they definitely have an advantage, just in terms of their restricted being fast and their Flutter, compared to all our Pokemon being very tooled out for Tailwind or Trick Room. And that's kind of the struggle in closed team sheet. For these Trick Room teams, knowing where the Protects, knowing where the Taunts, the Imprisons are is very important. But I see this Flutter, I see this Koraidon, and I'm thinking Fake Out Icicle Crash or Glacial Lance just because of the offense they're offering. Follow Me might be better. Speed Booster. I really do feel like it's going to, like, given they are Speed Booster, I want to go for a Fake Out Flare Blitz. Do they have anything on their team that can tank Hyper Voice? Not really, once I get it up. Follow Me. I could decorate Terra Fire, honestly. Am I going to need this for anything else? Probably no. So I'm going for Spore instead of Fake Out on the chance that they actually switch out into the Indeedee. I don't think that would be likely. I think they're going to try and stop the Trick Room. But the Koraidon going for the Terra Fire, kind of obvious. It's most common Terra to avoid the Ice type weakness, the Fairy type weakness, and just take advantage of the Fire type moves. But going to be navigating around that, remove our own Fire type weakness with the Terra Fire. And Fairy type weakness, definitely nice. We could have Fake Outed the Koraidon, completely neutralized it, but I think a Spore is going to be a little more value for us here. Oh, they Dazzle. They would have let us get Trick Room up. That's annoying, for sure. That's fine, though. If they went after Calyrex, we're still chilling. But they Collision Course into the Calyrex. Okay, good play. Does a lot. Wow. We Spore them, so we can get Trick Room up next turn. I'm pretty sure Dazzle won't knock us out. But yeah, good read. Very good read. We're going to hit the Glacial Lance. It might knock out the Flutter, which maybe puts us in a worse spot. Yeah, okay. Close Combat will knock out their Koraidon next turn, but the problem is now they get another Pokemon in. So we're going to get an attack raise. A speed raise would have been pretty nice there. But yeah, you know, 1 in 6. Armarouge out is bad, for sure. No way around that. I think I can Spore that, though. This is the advantage of the max speed Smeargle. I'm pretty sure they'd have to be a really quick Armor Rouge to get one over on us here. So we're going to hope for that. They'd have to be Goggles, I have to imagine, or max speed, which isn't that likely. They'd also have to Heat Wave or switch to Expanding Force, which, you know, switch to Indeedee would be worst case. They're wide guarding though, that's money for me. We're loving that. Yep, Koraidon has to stay asleep. I just want to check how fast max speed Armor Rouge is, or like modest max is. Timid, 130. Yeah, if they were timid speed, if they were timid max speed, we're both base 75 speed stat, we would have speed tied. But not the case. Let's see what we get. Speed drop. Now we're cooking. At this point, I kind of just want to go for a switch. And do I need to go for anything other than Glacial Lance? I don't think so. I think at this point the damage is sufficient to just like Glacial Lance, break everything sashes, and then close combat to close. Yeah. I don't really want to hit into a Rocky Helmet or something like that. And I want to break any focus sashes. So yep, we're going to switch. We got our Trick Room up. Time to make use of it. And although we could knock out the Koraidon here, I don't think that's actually our best play. After this Icicle Crash, the Armor Rouge and the Koraidon will be in range of any single target attack from both of our Pokemon. Yep. Koraidon stays asleep, that will probably be GG. Yep, double sleep. They don't get first turn wakes, which is super nice. I mean, Koraidon wouldn't be a first turn wake. But if they get a wide guard here, we don't want to bite into that. They cancel out. Yeah, they see, you know, they have an Ursaluna. They have Trick Room. They know how this works. So good game to them. I think dealing with that Flutter Mane, or dealing with the Koraidon aggressively and going for the Terrified turn 1 turned out to be a good play, because if based on the Dazzling Gleam damage, they might have been Choice Band, I don't know. But if I hadn't Terra'd, the Dazzling Gleam damage would have put us really close to a knockout. And would have made things really difficult. Oop, interesting. Communication error. Looks like they just shut off their switch after they forfeited. Not a BM thing, just a upset thing. Definitely been there. Where I'm just like, yeah, I forfeit, and then I like turn my switch off and then it disconnects. Not trying to grief anyone, but I think your opponent still gets the point, so it's like not a big deal. Another Trick Room team, theirs is definitely a little more straightforward with the Torkoal mode, but I think Wide Guard or Araquanid actually does a fair amount of work against their team. So with all that in mind, Spore Smeargle, similarly very good here. And something I'm going to take advantage of. I can also go for Safety Goggles Hyper Voice stuff, or Self-Decorate Hyper Voice stuff, which is solid. Urshifu, also very deadly. I'm going to avoid setting up Trick Room, honestly. Ooh, they have their own Urshifu. How big of an issue is that? Probably not that big of one. I actually like Urshifu as a lead against them defensively. Araquanid in the back seems good. And then maybe my own Calyrex. Yeah, I think my own Calyrex is actually well primed. With Wide Guard, I beat the Torkoal. I don't even have to Terra. If they are like Weather Ball Torkoal, I can protect that with both of my Pokemon to scout that out. So they'd probably need to be their own min speed Urshifu to handle us, which is reasonably likely. I think that's the most common Urshifu on Trick Room teams now, thanks to the Chef and Brian Collins innovation of that set. And it is going to be, yep, that is, to me, food, in my opinion. So if they go for a Terastallization, I'm okay with that, because that means I can just go for a Spore into you, and they can Wicked Blow me, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Spore, Wicked Blow. I think it's likely they'll U-turn, just because if they don't U-turn, if they do U-turn, what am I gonna do? If they do U-turn, I want to Spore the switch in, and if it's Terra Grass, yeah, it's fine. If they Final Gambit, I get the Spore anyways. So they have to be Final Gambit, Terra Grass, which would be interesting on the on that guy. I could also Fake Out, but I don't want to get Indeeded. All right, we're seeing the Terra. They kind of have to defensively Terra in front of Follow Me plus Banded guy, and it is Terra Water. That is a Spore Pokemon, my friend. You're getting Spored. And I feel like a CC won't knock out my... Yeah, Final Gambit, fair enough, but yeah, this is Spore. Terra Water's better for them though, so it's not the worst spot by any means. Definitely not a bad spot. Yep, they'd have to be Lumberry, which is way worse in general than Clear Amulet. I would be very surprised. Yep, I feel like that's a decent trade. I'd rather get that than damage, truthfully. Attack raise, speed drop, or special attack. Okay. At this point we go into Calyrex. I want to go for Decorate, I think. We'll see who they have in the back. Torkoal, that's totally okay. I can Spore that and Close Combat their Calyrex if I want to. But I think a little better for me is actually, because they have to wake up to beat me, I can go for Self-Decorate Icicle Crash, and this is going to do a lot of damage to the Torkoal. I don't even have to worry, I just go for Glacial Lance. Should I Close Combat this turn? Probably. Yeah. Will I knock them out with Close Combat? I don't know. I think I'm going to Spore... Nah, I'm going to Decorate Fire Terra. Glacial Lance. Because this is probably going to bring the Torkoal to 50%, at which point Eruption won't be really threatening. They have to go for Heat Wave to deal a bunch of damage. And this will knock them into close combat range. And we'll also verify whether they are... I guess we won't verify whether they're Trick Room or not. We won't be able to verify speed tiers unless they don't go for Trick Room here. So we won't be able to make much conclusions about this unless they move before my Calyrex. They do. Okay, so that is faster. Glacial Lance, kind of annoying. But given we went for the Terrifier, we're resisting that, and we'll survive an attack from the Torkoal as well. I have opened myself up to a high horsepower, though. Unfortunate, should have spored the Torkoal, that's my bad. I got pretty greedy there. And they did go for the single target, which is to our benefit. They expected Weather Ball, or they expected another option. We get the speed raise, which is good, because we can spore the Calyrex and close combat now. Is that necessary? Yeah, I think we actually just go for another Icicle Crash, no? Because of high horsepower, that makes things tricky. I think I actually have to go for... Is Weather Ball going to knock me out? Shouldn't. Really shouldn't, but it might. I think I do have to close combat that, unfortunately. Back Ursh makes things tricky. Yeah, I think I Spore close combat you. If they had protected, they probably win. But I took a risk that they wouldn't, given I have Spore pressure on the Torkoal as well. I also could have gone for just Spore Glacial Lance on, and if I get favorable sleep turns, I win. But I didn't want to risk that. Because I think I'll lose 1v1 if they get an attack raise with the Araquanid versus this guy, and everything else I might have a chance with the Araquanid. Like the Brute Bonnet, I'll be able to leech life. And if they don't knock me out with Weather Ball, I'll be good. Weather Ball into Torkoal, interesting. So maybe they're confident they can beat me with the last Mon. We'll see. It's gonna be close. After the defense drop, that is the problem with this Calyrex, is the defense drop can be really devastating. If you're out of Trick Room, if you're in Trick Room and taking knockouts, it's all hunky-dory, but not the case here. Brute Bonnet, okay. So Icicle Crash, defense heightening, uh-oh, okay. Still should just be Icicle Crash, I believe. They have to Spore. If they do that, we knock them out. Yeah, I think Araquanid might be enough to pull through here. The defense boost is a little annoying. Maybe I should double protect to stall out there. Okay. Maybe they were only Bullet Seed, but yeah, really close game. I think that's the Trick Room Mirror is very weird because you don't know your opponent's IVs. It's hard to tell when a speed tie is happening unless if you're the one winning it, you're like, oh, they're min speed, unless you know you're min speed and then you know it's a speed tie. It's a very weird spot. So I think we played that about as well as we could. We got the Calyrex asleep. If they had been Terra Grass that first turn, we sweep them with our Calyrex, and if not, then goes the other way around. So good game to them. Trick Room Mirror, always very weird, and I think Urshifu is definitely a good weapon in it, but we could have probably, I don't know, the Smeargle ended up carrying, so probably fine to just sack the Urshifu turn 1. Okay, the most supportive Terapagos team I've ever seen, but after you Clefairy is really the only threat on this team, I think. They also get messed up by Spore Smeargle, in my opinion. If I can get Trick Room up. Honestly, they actually don't do a lot to Farigiraf. Like a lot of priority, a lot of stuff like that. But if I can just start the Decorate train pumping, we will just beat them. Similarly, I feel like Ursaluna is good and Calyrex is good, and I don't need the Urshifu that badly. But them protecting on that. Urshifu is weird because if they have the Comfy in, I have to use a Terra Steel to survive an attack, and I'm not that comfortable doing that. But it could be valuable. I think the damage on Calyrex is pretty necessary. And then maybe Ursa? Yeah. Blood Moon Ursa could be very valuable defensively. I guess I just have to avoid getting after you swept by that. Like Araquanid for Wide Guard could be really good as well. I don't want to neglect that, and I think I will bring that. Just defensively against the Terapagos, it's a lot better. And if I have the Glacial Lances against the Amoonguss, the Whimsicott, etc., then I should be, like, they have to Terra Water, which I can maybe scout out. It's going to be a little weird. But I think the Safety Goggles Farigiraf, if I can net a knockout on the Amoonguss early with that, things will go very smoothly this battle. Yeah. And they're also probably very scared of Spore. Things should go fine here, I think. And it is Terapagos plus an Incineroar, that's fine. Because I can truthfully just go for a Fake Out Incin Hyper Voice, break their shield that way, I think. Should I not Fake Out Trick Room? I kind of just want to go for Decorate Hyper Voice, honestly, and I think I will go for that. I think it's reasonably likely that they attack or protect with the Terapagos because they don't want to get spored. So we're going to go for this. Decorate is off. They can taunt one of my Pokemon here. I think whoever they taunt, I am okay with. That's U-turn. Okay, they don't break the Smeargle Sash, which is fine. I'll live a Starstorm, I'm pretty sure. They could be going into a Amoonguss here, which will not take 2 Hyper Voices. Amoonguss, okay. Come and get it. A knockoff would have done a lot of damage. We don't know if they're goggles, so I didn't Spore that slot, but this Hyper Voice is... Ooh, that didn't knock out. Okay. Interesting. What did we raise there? Defense. Okay, that's not the worst. I think we go for it again, honestly. Or maybe Psychic. Psychic should knock them out unless they Terra. I don't want to decorate their Amoonguss. We'll go for Spore. Oh, and they expected me to Hyper Voice, so they don't even Rage Powder it away. I will take that, and Hyper Voice would have been better to break the shield, but the Amoonguss is very specially defensive to be able to take that Hyper Voice without being 2 KO'd. So we are in a good spot now. They don't get any boosts on Terapagos, and we have the Farigiraf at +2. That might be where our good luck ends, unfortunately, because now the Ensign can come in and hit us with a knockoff. But we still can't Clefairy. He's weird. That's a weird call. That's a very weird decision. I still should just be able to Spore that, and they'd have to go for a Terra on Clefairy to get out of it. They might just forfeit here, honestly. This is the problem with these pure protect the Pokemon teams is, yeah, if I just read you making one defensive play and kind of catch your pivot Pokemon out of position, you do just kind of like get swamped by, you just lose so much momentum essentially. So there's the Calm Mind. We are going to break their shell though. So that's okay with me. They haven't broken my Focus Sash on the Smeargle either. I think you really do need to U-turn into the Smeargle that first turn to at least be threatening knockouts into it, because now I can still Spore the Clefairy and kind of be in the same spot. Yep, tanks that. But now I do just want to go to another Hyper Voice, I think, and Spore the Terapagos. Speed drop. A little annoying, for sure. But actually, maybe in my favor. Probably so, because now I'm underspeeding them. I can Spore you. I'm not worried anymore. Yeah, they follow me. This is a Spore into them. They're probably going for another Calm Mind, but the problem is I got a speed lower. Terra Starstorm, yeah, gonna break a Sash, but not the end of the world by any means. Yeah, they're not leftovers, are they? I don't believe so, and we confirm we're underspeeding them. So now what we can do is actually switch out the... Do I need to? I could just keep going for Hyper Voices, no? The Friend Guard's kind of annoying. Yeah, I probably shouldn't switch out the Smeargle just yet. That Spore pressure is just really difficult for them to deal with, honestly. Breaking the shell is cool. They have one Calm Mind up. I think if I can just break the Terapagos' shell, I'll beat it with my back guy, huh? I think I'm going to risk the Calyrex on switch. This damages a lot. If the Incineroar switches in, it'll be in range of a close combat at that point very easily. Breaking the shell is important. They might not even switch out because of Friend Guard. They're feeling maybe kind of good about that. But as long as I can break this shell and bring it in close combat range, we're chilling. They don't switch. That's fine. Because now we probably just use Hyper Voice Glacial and take a big damage on either Pokemon. They can after you, but it's not a knockout on either still. Yep. If they follow me, I don't want to get redirected on the close combat. And they are terastallizing finally. So I could have close combated here with the Hyper Voice, maybe we knock them out, but again, it's not worth risking lowering the special defense if they follow me away. Especially with the Trick Room up, we just have too big of a lead, especially when Smeargle comes out, we can Spore, we can follow me, we're just in a great spot. Yeah, the Clefairy stays asleep, that should be getting knocked out. Not going to get an A-boost, unfortunately, but that's fine. Dealing a ton of damage there and knocking out the Clefairy and bringing that guy really low. Yeah, that's in range of CC quite easily. And we burned the Terra, so we can actually just close combat the Ensign if we want to. Not a knockout, not a 2-hit knockout, more importantly. They're leftovers, but they're only +1. So as long as we don't Terra, they're not really taking any knockouts against us. And I think Smeargle with Spore in the back once Trick Room ends closes this out, so we just have to knock out the Incineroar. Clear Amulet, always clutch. 2 more turns of Trick Room. Yeah, I think this is just a... I don't have to mess around, do I? Knockoff is probably a knockout into me, so I don't want to give them that. Yep, Terapagos protects, but we're going to knock that out with a close combat. Now we get to see the roll on close combat. I think it's like close to 90. Yeah, very close to 90, and the Hyper Voice cleans it up. So that's cool. You're seeing the value of the close combat. It's way better against Incineroar just on damage output. You will take more on the follow-up, but if you have something else to follow up, like this guy, we do just take the knockout. Now the Terapagos is toast to a close combat. Whereas it would have lived a Glacial Lance maybe after the leftovers healing, CC is a clean knockout on the eternally normal type defensively Terapagos. So we're going to switch out here and close combat again. And we're switching out because once Trick Room ends, if they get a double protect, we can apply Fake Out pressure, or if we get a speed drop, Spore pressure. But they do not go for the double, and this will be a knockout. Oh, interesting. I might have just thrown. Unfortunate. Yeah, I guess that was a mistake in that I could have... Yeah, I'm very surprised that... Wow, I'm shocked that actually didn't knock out. That's crazy. Huh, this thing's a tank. So that didn't knock out. What I could have probably done is actually just stayed in Hyper Voice attack, and if I don't knock them out, I just Trick Room with Farigiraf, protect Calyrex, and then same thing the next turn. Or if they don't knock me out, just... Yeah, if they Calm Mind that turn, they have to knock me out because Trick Room goes up. Regardless, I think we should just close it out with their Araquanid. I'm not going to give them single target damage on their attack. They have to hit me fair and square. They'd have to Hyper Beam my Araquanid or hit my Farigiraf, so I'm not going to let them do that. Liquidation, Trick Room, and close from there. Got a little dicey, but it still was very, very comfortable. And yeah, they commit to the Earth Power given. They have to hope that I waste a turn. Wide guarding or something silly so that they can take a knockout and then maybe cheekily beat our Araquanid somehow. Yep, good game to them, but yeah, that kind of just exposes the weakness of these Terapagos teams. If you have something disruptive like a Smeargle that can just stop all of your, like just out-boost my partners with the Decorate and then just Spore all your switch-ins while you're trying to pivot around and get cute with Calm Mind, it does make things just very easy to beat. Actually, a really interesting take on Trick Room themselves. They have a Mimikyu instead of what is usually a Pelipper most often, but I've also seen... what else do we usually see? Yeah, I'm not sure, but yeah, the Mimikyu is interesting. Terra Fire, I think, is very beneficial for us here outside of the Urshifu. We're pretty good against that. I like Spore, but just guessing where the safety goggles here is kind of annoying. I'd imagine Araquanid is decent against everything but the Raging Bolt. So, what are we going to do here? Maybe get cooking with the Hyper Voice, honestly. That's decent. That's my first instinct, generally. Yeah. And then probably Ursaluna. How fast is this compared to... Calyrex will outspeed me. Okay. I think my own Calyrex is almost like a half to bring. Maybe Araquanid? I don't know. I feel like this team is kind of weak to Amoonguss in all seriousness. Despite the safety goggles, it's like kind of hard to handle. I think I'll go Urshifu Choice Band. I haven't used it too much, but I think this might be the battle for it. I should be underspeeding their Raging Bolt in Trick Room if they aren't quiet, which we could surprise them with. Could definitely get some good surprises on the Urshifu this game. Alright, we're going to see. Incin, Urshifu, fair enough. So, interesting spot. They can U-turn and switch. Should I Terrastalize my Smeargle here? Maybe. I think what I'm going to go for is actually a Terra plus Decorate. Plus Hyper Voice. Seems good. Should I knock out their Ursh? Maybe, maybe not. Is this an overcommitment? Most likely, yeah. Because I can just Fake Out. Trick Room. I'm not totally sure about this play. I could have Fake Outed Psychic to the Urshifu, but I don't want to get knocked off just yet. If I could figure out the item on the Incin, that'd be great. Like if I knock it into a Spore range or something, that'd be cool. But I doubt it, honestly. U-turn, good play. We are going to get the Hyper Voice off, but they might just knock me out with knockoff before I get to go for it, unfortunately. But that was a good play. Fake Out Psychic would have been pretty cool there. Amoonguss. Okay, interesting. So are you safety goggles or you're predicting Spore? If I can live a knockoff, I'm good here, but doubt it. This is bold for Igraft, though. Taunt or knockoff? It is knockoff and we live. That's really good. We lose the goggles. Not good. Regardless, though, I could Spore the Ensign or Trick Room. I should probably Psychic. Spore, I have to imagine, is best play. Or Follow Me. It wouldn't be Snarl, would it? No, I think that's doubtful. I am dubious of that. I think I kind of want to knock out the Amoonguss here. I don't know if usually the Amoonguss, the Urshifu, the Ensign is safety goggles rather. I'm gonna go Psychic here and probably Follow Me. But Protect on Amoonguss makes a lot of sense here. I just need to stop Trick Room from going up, or stop them from stopping Trick Room from going up. They're gonna Flare Blitz. So if I'd Hyper Voiced and actually gotten a high roll, I maybe could have... Like if they Flare Blitz the Smeargle and I Decorate and outspeed the Amoonguss, we could have been in a great spot, but not the case. We outspeed, that's good. So now, we've eliminated the Amoonguss, but we have not eliminated... Like getting Trick Room up still could be an issue. Speed Raise, you say? Okay. Now we're cooking. So that means we get a Spore into everything except for a Terra Grass option, which I'm good with. I think based on that, I can just go for Spore. You Terra Grass Urshifu, or are you another Terra? Like they would always outspeed me here, so I think I do just go for, what am I, +2, that's enough, yeah. Gonna be hard still, I think. No Terror from them, cool. If they give me Trick Room, I am golden. Urshifu is fast asleep, of course. And they knock off their Furgraf. Fair enough. So what I can do here is if I want to close combat the Urshifu, I can. We are zooming. I want to say... That doesn't feel right, does it? Urshifu doesn't feel quite right yet. Oh, man. Weird spot. Very weird spot, I would say. 2 abilities, Unnerve. Very cool. I think I just go Trick Room, Spore, or Trick Room, Decorate. Follow Me is better in case they have Taunt, I think. I'm going to go for that. They have to wake up here to, like, make this winning for them. Yeah, now if they get a Will-O-Wisp, we're in trouble. Okay. So I could have Spored them if they're not Safety Goggles Ensign, but again, they also need to be Taunt Incineroar to be in a good spot. Like, Flare Blitz would be not ideal for them, I think. We'll see who they have in back. But yeah, unfortunate first turn wake, but we got a hefty speed boost to get us there, so not crazy. And they haven't Terastallized yet, that's worth noting. If they're Taunt, do we lose? Maybe, maybe not. Knockoff's fine. Yep, knockoff is fine, and now Trick Room. Interesting spot still. Back Ursh. High Horsepower is not a knockout into me. Glacial Lance is going to be close on Ensign, but I don't think it knocks out without a boost. This would be where a High Horsepower would be ideal. But I think this is just close combat into Ensign. That drop could be a problem though. Flare Blitz is an issue. Yikes. I don't think I can live a double up on the Ursh, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll see about this. I think this is a losing spot, though. I think close combat's actually a better play for me here because they're more than likely to defensively Terra, and I need close combat damage to get it in range of another close combat, and then I can maybe beat them. Like, then I can beat their Urshifu with mine and close combat to beat their Calyrex. Now I think Wicked Blow is not going to get me enough mileage. So this was a misplay. I was just worried about them pivoting around with the Incin, but I should still be fine if they do that. Okay. Chilling Nay boost is cool. Glacial Lance, that's fine. I think Wicked Blow maybe gets us into close combat range. Wicked Blow's at 2 at KO on us, though. That's just my bad on EVing that, truthfully. Do we knock them out with Wicked Blow ourselves, though? Yeah, I should EV to live that, honestly. But close combat would have put them in range of a Glacial Lance, so I just made a bad misplay there. +1 Calyrex versus Urshifu. Water, close combat, +1. I think we're shy, honestly. Yeah. I think we're still shy, unfortunately. Ah, that's super annoying. Could I knock them out with an Icicle Crash? Probably not. I think they just protect Calyrex and win. Oh, they don't. Okay. Winnable spot then. So we make the read that they're not going to protect, which is tough call because they can either Glacial Lance and knock out both of my Pokemon, or expect me not to target the Calyrex, like just double into the Urshifu because I locked into Wicked Blow, not CC, and win that way. But now I think 2 Wicked Blows will knock out their Urshifu, and we probably get there. Oh, we don't? Uh-oh. Yeah, I should have locked close combat. Oh, I really thought that would 2 at KO with Choice Band. Yeah, so there's the huge mistake in not close combating. If I had, I would have, 1, done a little bit more damage to the Calyrex that first turn, but 2, I'd have the knockout on the Urshifu this turn. So just a very small blunder, but it ends up costing us pretty huge this game. Yeah, they just live barely. Good game to my opponent, really close. Unless this doesn't knock out, but I think it should. Yeah, easily. So this is a situation where I maybe EV my Urshifu to be a little tankier, just to tank 2 Glacial Lances to make my plays a little easier in the late game, but I think this was also just a winnable game that I misplayed in the late game by not close combating. So good game. All right, really offensive team for my opponent. I think the only anti-Trick Room options I would expect are Taunt Rillaboom or Farigiraf with the Imprison. So can I handle that? Safety Goggles Farigiraf would make that tricky. Outside of that, I could be fine. Honestly, Araquanid would be cool, but I might just go for Spore Farigiraf, or Spore Smeargle, plus Calyrex, and maybe Farigiraf early. I think I'll go with that. Set up Trick Room, Calyrex in the back to deal with everything, and then last mon. Honestly, Araquanid's pretty tempting. Just defensive, like it deals enough damage to knock out everything in rain. Except for that super pesky bridge with stamina. Once that gets enough bridge boosts, I can't beat it. So I have to bring the Ursaluna, I think, even though it's a little weaker into rain than the Araquanid, but yeah, it's hard. A pretty good lead would actually be, if I knew their sets well, I could lead Farigiraf plus Araquanid. If they're a Origin Pulse Water Spout Kyogre, I can easily just Wide Guard in front of that if they don't lead Imprison Farigiraf. Or Taunt Rillaboom, essentially. So Urshifu Kyogre, that's tricky for sure. Yeah, that's bad. Good lead from them. I don't have a defensive Terra, unfortunately. If they're Terra Water, we lose, I think. So I think I'm going to count on them not being Terra Water. So the last time I've played something like this before and they just went into the Farigiraf, this time they do not. They stay with the Kyogre. If they're max speed modest, I think we'll outspeed them, but they're terrestrializing the Urshifu, Terra Water. Okay. So no Terra from Kyogre is interesting. Kind of just depends on what their items are here. Surging Strike's going to be a KO into Farigiraf, almost certainly. Maybe that's a little shy, but I think it should get there. Oh no, that's shy. If they're slower on the Kyogre, we're going to get a knockout here. Water Spout's fine. Because we get the Spore off, they're not safety goggles. I think this is a fair trade for us. Yeah, so they are taking a double knockout, but I think if they have Terra Water on the Kyogre, I would have gone for that instead. Or Terra Grass, just because you... yes, you're knocking out the Farigiraf, but if I have a Trick Room Pokemon in the back, then things start to go kind of sideways. Speed Raise would have been cute there, but I think Follow Me is better, better than any other alternative here. I'd imagine I live a hit on the Farigiraf or on the Calyrex, but I don't want to get myself in range of Grassy Glide, essentially. Just going to Follow Me and Trick Room here. Well, So this is a spot where I wish I had Araquanid, because I think a Backmon Rillaboom, if they had switched it in here, would have been very hard for me to deal with. Because they can, as I set up Trick Room, go for Fake Out, Surging Strike into my Ursaluna, and I can't knock out their Urshifu. So that would have been really bad. I'm going to run the Calc, but yeah, I feel like Ursaluna's a knockout into them now. Urshifu, Water, Life Orb, Hyper Voice, might not knock them out. It's going to get close though. I can't see Terra Fire being that effective this match, so I'm going to go for a Hyper Voice Glacial Lance. I could Blood Moon something, but I want to cover for Focus Sash on the Urshifu. And I could Close Combat the Kyogre, but again, I want to have that covered. Origin Pulse I feel like isn't a knockout, and they also have to hit. If Blood Moon goes down to the Origin Pulse, we probably lose, but without knowing if it's Choice Scarf Urshifu, it could just be Jolly. It naturally outspeeds Kyogre anyways, so I don't think I can afford to take that risk. And Sleep turns, this would be the first turn Wake as well. So I think there's a lot that has to go. They go for Protect, I think. So yeah, that's fine. Big damage, that locks it into Hyper Voice range. Yep, and the Kyogre not taking that well either. I think Hyper Voice it will live. But yeah, okay, that's good. Now it's in range of either Hyper Voice or Glacial Lance, so that's excellent. We hardly have to think the rest of the battle, I think. And they've used their Terra, so they can't go for anything cheeky with the Archaludon either. So who comes in? This is really what the team is driving towards, getting that Glacial Lance Hyper Voice combo, where you hardly have to think, you just have to get in that position and then you sweep. Farigiraf, that is not right, because we can go for Blood Moon plus Ice Skull or Glacial Lance. They could try and reverse Trick Room, but with Blood Moon, I don't see it happening. Maybe Iron Ball Kyogre, but given it outsped the Smeargle, we know it's max speed. Quick Claw Kyogre maybe could win it for them, but they don't get the double Protect here, or they don't get the Protect and Wake. We see them go for it. And the no Glacial Lances, one Glacial Lance piling up finally, so we're going to be able to really match up well into their last Pokemon. I do think, while this late game does look really good, if they had gotten the Rillaboom in that turn that Smeargle went down, we probably lose the game right there. Well, maybe not. Maybe we get there with Ice Skull Crash and some good sleep turns on their Pokemon. It's possible. Yeah. Pokemon's crazy because we probably just knock out the Rillaboom that way. But yeah, it is Arch. Unfortunate. That is not Ursaluna's best friend. Let me look at the turns. I believe we still just close combat, but yeah. I'll Glacial Lance in case we ever play them again. Don't want to reveal the optionality to close combat. Oh, that does a lot. Yeah, you have to kind of pay attention to that in Best of 1. If you have an option to beat an opponent where, or on a ladder setting, if you can beat them with something that isn't, like, not revealing something, that can be really valuable, because you can play them later in the battle and steal more of their points with just a cheap secret tech that you hit in the first set. Okay, we have a team I feel like I've seen before. I believe this is a Chi-Yu with... Yeah, I believe this is actually Fluttermane with Taunt, so I want to actually deal with that pretty aggressively with the Smeargle plus Calyrex, and then I might have to read them on Switch, unfortunately. I think Araquanid's pretty bad here. They have a lot of Pokemon that can protect, though, so maybe I beat them with Urshifu as well. But Blood Moon's probably a bit better, because I think it's AV. And I think I need Farigiraf just in case they get the Amoonguss in safely. I want to be able to Psychic that. You need to go potty? No. Yes, please. Okay, so we saw the booster energy, so I believe, but I don't know if we saw the booster energy, honestly, but I'm pretty sure this is Taunt. So what I want to go for is Terrifier, Trick Room, Follow Me, because this covers for that. They're going to go for a Terra, which they usually do. Terra goes to cover for the Fake Out, but that's fine, because we'll deal a ton of damage with Glacial Lance, and they're usually only Snarl on this one, so that's all good by me. We're going to be able to tank a Heat Wave. That's really the aim here. I think usually on these teams it's Icy Wind, Taunt, Flutter. With Focus Sash, I might have missed it in Team Preview that it was Booster Energy, but typically on this team it's Icy Wind, Taunt, I've learned. If they Imprison though, maybe things get a little cute. Taunt, yeah, we got it this time. That's always a fun guessing game. Did they switch the Taunt to another move? Heat Wave is going to miss the Calyrex. Any damage counts. That's super nice. A burn on Smeargle would be ideal here. Uh-oh. Yeah, they tried to get me with the Taunt, but unfortunately that's not going to work for them this time. I believe I know why they forfeited. Oh, it was Life Orb and not... Oh my goodness. Yeah, this game was immediately over because I got my... I believe Ursaluna in... No, I think I just get my Farigiraf in and I take 2 KOs. Oh, that is super unfortunate for them. Yeah, GG. Hate to see it. Yeah, I think, truthfully, if they had Amoonguss still, that game isn't over. I feel like Amoonguss is just really strong against this team in particular. In closed team sheet, you can kind of cheese it because your Terra Grass is very common, but in an open team sheet format, I feel like Amoonguss probably would be my enemy number 1 when I'm playing with this team because I can't just default to the Calyrex. Like Amoonguss Chi-Yu seems quite hard to handle. Okay, this is one heck of a squad. They have Grovyle, Calyrex-Ice. Is that Dragon Cheer, maybe? Dragon Cheer plus Terra Dragon Glacial Lance or something like that? I don't really know. It's a bit scary. I'm kind of scared. Someone hold me. But this feels like a good Decorate game. I'll say it. I'll say it. I don't care who wants to fight me about it. Wide Guard Araquanid, very good here. Stops them from just going for the offensive options, and then... Ah, man. Big decision between Urshifu and Ursaluna, I'd say. But I feel like, given we're likely to be playing in Trick Room, I'm going to go with the Ursaluna. If they're min speed, Iron Hands, I believe... I actually don't know who's slower between the two of us. I want to say Iron Hands outslows Ursaluna at min speed. Ursaluna, base 52 versus Iron Hands. I think it's base 50, unfortunately. That's annoying. That's super annoying for sure. Iron Hands. Base 50, yeah, okay. Calyrex is going to be slower though. I think if they give this to me, I'm happy. I'm just going to go for Glacial Lance. Decorate. If they foul play, that's annoying though. Good lead from them. I don't have great counterplay. Oh, it'd be so cool if I get the knockout though. Would you foul play plus fake out here? Maybe, while I set up Trick Room. But if you fake out, then I don't get Decorate off and I still get my Glacial Lance. Aha. That's what you did not consider, my friend. Alright, Picasso. For Graph, Helping Hand, what are you going for here? Close combat? Foul play of your own? Heavy Slam surely doesn't knock out. You didn't get a booster energy on attack. I don't think CC's a KO. What do you got? Close combat? I don't think so. Yeah, you'd need to be choice banned for that to even get close to knocking out. And now you're just going to fold to the Glacial. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, that might just be curtains. That's a really bad first turn for them. If that is not safety goggles, we're going to get a pretty free Spore here. If they don't bring an Urshifu, we can follow me attack. They need a spread attacker in here. Calyrex, that's not going to work. Because a Glacial Lance is not a KO. And it's not a KO before I can Spore you, actually. They never broke my sash. We're chilling, I'd say. No pun intended. Actually not. No pun intended. No, that should have been follow me, no? Yeah, that should have been follow me because I opened myself up to foul play for a Graph this turn. Double kick. What are you going for, a weakness policy strategy? That's crazy. Interesting squad we're playing against. Never seen double kick. I've seen high horsepower, I think, on for a Graph to beat Heatran, but never this set. Never, ever this set. We're +3. We're +4. Now the Glacial Lance is going to knock theirs out. And yeah, starting to look really good. Really solid. Moody, defense boost. That's just cake at this point. Who do they have in the back? Moltres. Should I preserve my Terra for that? I should probably go follow me, Trick Room, try and set up on it. Do I Terra Fire? Probably not. They're close combat, that could be an issue. I think Araquanid's looking great here, though. Tell you what, I'm going to go for Spore and Trick Room. And hope I get it up. They're going to wake up, though, and go for a Protect themselves. That makes sense, but if they don't knock out the Smeargle or they are slower, they lose. Fire Rat, that's very fast. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't even sure that would knock out the Calyrex, just unless they're a specs item. Like, Calyrex is so bulky, you need boosts. And they don't get the flinch. That's probably curtains, my guy. Because I can go into Araquanid and maybe Sucker Punch could win it for them. That wouldn't shock me. But it just doesn't seem like it. I feel like we've undersped the Calyrex a couple times. Did they just protect? They did. So I'm going to protect myself, or I'm going to go offensive on the Arachnid and then protect the Calyrex. So I'm underspeeding the Calyrex if I don't KO with the Liquidation, which I think I will unless they have a defensive Terra. Then I can at least risk the speed tie next turn. And we're also removing the flying type damage from the Fire Wrath, or the Air Slash, or maybe even Hurricane. Boom, big Liquidation, no resist. This is knockout. Even on a Calyrex, this is a knockout. Boom, restricted down to a little bug. Hurricane, yep, we're tanking. But, oh my god, we would have tanked even before. But they get the confusion, which is a tad annoying, but I think now we can just switch. If they're Focus Sash, I'd rather remove the ability to get confused. That cleans up my endgame a bit. I think +4 Glacial Lance is knocking them out, even if they have a defensive Terra. Like Terra Steel, they might live, so I guess they should probably close combat, but Terra Poison is also reasonably likely, so I don't want to give in to that. The confusion does make it a little tricky, though. I think Fire Wrath means I should just win. Dark? Oh no, you should have gone for that last turn. Definitely. The turn that you didn't knock out my Calyrex should have gone for Terra Dark. And there you go. So yeah, they played cute turn 1. If they had Foul Play for a Graph, I actually feel like that's pretty good against this team. That was the set that Electric Seed plus... Honestly, Rajan's team was actually teched really well against this, having both Spore optionality, just being able to set up electric terrain, Volt Switch, Break the Sash, Fake Out Prevention with the Fergraph, Foul Play to knock out the Calyrex if you try and get cute and decorate it. Yeah, definitely a solid matchup there, I imagine. Oh, he actually did play him in top... No, we didn't play him in top 8. Thinking of another odd team, but yeah, solid match there. Again, the Tricker Mirror is always a little weird, but if you get a Decorate up, it's just so easy. Okay, up against number 100 on the ladder, they have a Muck team. This is like, honestly, not a bad matchup. If I can hit them out of Minimize once, we're really in a good spot, and Mind's Eye kills, like murders Muck. This is close to a perfect matchup, I'd say. I say this before I get completely messed up by it, but we'll see. I feel good about this. Wide Guard Smeargle could be a little annoying, but I might go for... So what I'm doing is I'm stopping them from sporing on the Smeargle side. While also I'm offering Trick Room, I'm offering Mind's Eye. If I can ever hit the Muck before it gets Moody Boost, I'm chilling. They might have to commit to a Terra Grass on the Smeargle turn 1, honestly. They also have Decorate Alchemy, so I have to be kind of worried about that, but not that much. I think we rolled into a pretty good matchup against Muck as far as, like, Mind's Eye never misses, it ignores Evasion Boost, so really kind of the perfect matchup here. Okay, we see Smeargle Cress, which is interesting. I feel really good about Hyper Voice Terragrass Decorate, actually. To me, it seems very unlikely that they have... I think they're most likely Safety Goggles Cresselia based on this lead. And they'd have to be like Terragrass Smeargle to get away from this. We're not going to see a Terra, or at least we're going to see me Terra first. But I think they'd have to have some really weird moves to beat us on their Smeargle. And Decorate just gets us kicked off pretty quickly. And I think we'll be able to beat their Cresselia. 1v1 with Decorate. Spore, not going to work. They could have been Choice Scarf, but yeah, we have the perfect items and sets for this. And given they left their Cresselia exposed, I'm pretty sure they're Goggles. They could Decorate themselves. Skill Swap. Why are we doing that? Moody? Oh, that's cute. I'll take it, though. What are you going to get? I think I'm still outstacking you pretty easily. Moody, special attack raise. They're double moodied up. That's funny. Moody, speed, fine. They could wide guard. If they wide guard, is that an issue? They're probably going to psych up me, honestly, though. So I'm going to go for a psych up. Yeah, I don't want to give them that. I'm going to go Hyper Voice, follow me. Because I think psych up is coming in a sec. If they wide guard, fine. I don't think they can really... I think they kind of have to follow me or something. Lunar Blessing, that's fine. You're falling in range of Hyper Voice. So they got the Moody, they're giving that to their Muck, but I think that's totally a-okay with me. Okay, that would have brought me to... Oh my goodness, that's perfect. That's so funny. Usually only see stuff like that on like a low ladder Pokemon Showdown, but that is something else. Special attack falling, it is fast still. They have what? Lunar Blessing, Psych Up, Skill Swap, I imagine? Stored Power? Do you have a Dark type? No. Who's coming out? Alchemy. Okay, that's probably Sweet Veil. But I can just go for a Decorate still. And I'm not really scared, right? I'm not going to fall for the Sweet Veil trap. They're going to Lunar Blessing, which is fine. We're boosting up even further. So Sweet Veil is an ability that makes the Pokemon on your side of the field immune to sleep. Except for maybe the Alchemy, I'm not sure about that. But we're using their Decorate against them. I could have Follow Me'd here. They're going to use it on their Crest, so Stored Power is going to do a lot, but still not that much damage. Their Stored Power is going to probably knock me out, but we're moving before them? Why is that happening? We're going to 2-hit KO their Alchemy, but given the damage output we're doing, I feel totally comfortable. Oh, they've been Lunar Blessing, rather. So it's got to be Stored Power here. Do I want to set up Trick Room yet? I think so. Let me look at their Cresselia's stats here. A lot of defense, a lot of speed, but no special attack. Yeah, the special attack drops were bad for them. I'm pretty sure I'll level Stored Power, so what I'm going to do here is actually Trick Room, Decorate myself. And then I'll just beat them with... Yeah, that's not going to work, because now I knock you out next turn. Womp womp, that's surely not a KO. Yeah, not even close. They needed the special attack boost and they got too many drops because they went for Moody. They tried to be cute. If they'd hit the Fissure, they only bring us to Sash too, so... I feel like we just rolled a perfect matchup. I've never had a better Muck matchup in my life. I haven't even brought out the Mind's Eye versus Luna. That's really funny. They're probably like, oh my god, could I have pulled anything worse on Battle Stadium? I don't think so. Yeah, at this point we just follow me, and there's no counterplay. We're +6, Hyper Voice is just chilling. We are just chilling and grilling. Yeah, you just gotta cancel out, my guy. Yeah. Even Calyrex can't damage me. That was literally the perfect matchup. Decorate Smeargle just destroys these slow-paced teams, especially when they went for the Spore first turn. Not expecting safety goggles, it just went downhill from there. No fake out on the board. Just a perfect lead against what they led. And we never went for a Spore against the Cresselia because it too was also safety goggles, I'm pretty sure. So good win against a top 100 player on the ladder.